right, hello and welcome everybody to the final cast in Alchemy League Season 10. It's kind of hard to believe that the season is nearly over. Looks like my camera is lagging a little bit. Oh, and it's actually off center. I don't know why it has been doing that lately. Could be a weird save file thing or something. Let me adjust it. There we go. I would turn on the light. I don't know if it's gonna do us any good. I kind of look all shady and unscrupulous. Let's see if this helps. Morning sun always comes in, and I guess that does help a little bit. Casts a shadow. Oh, all right. Well, maybe not now that I'm getting back into position. So, Alchemy League, what is it? It's a 1v1 Age of Empires 2 tournament. It's hosted by me and the rest of the Alchemy AoE community. The focus is on custom maps and unique formats. So a lot of these guys that you're going to see today, not all of them, but many of them, most of them, 3/4 of them are very experienced League veterans. I thought, for the last cast of the season, we'd try to get some higher ELO matches, and it so happened that they rolled in at the right time. So we're going to see these Age of Empires 2 players. We're going to cover 2 sets the way that we always do. The sets for this season are anywhere from Play All 2 to Play All 3, whatever the players decide. It doesn't matter. The scoring system can handle it. Because at the end we'll just calculate their win rate and we'll compare that to what their win rate should have been given the difficulty of their opponents and the people who most overperformed win the prizes. Hey, Cookie Pirate, welcome. Thanks for being here, Cookie Pirate. I know Age of Empires is not your favorite thing in the world, but we appreciate you showing up for a video and saying hi. Yeah, it's sort of like a video chat, at least a one-way video chat. I appreciate that. Thank you. It's relatively easy to turn on the TV, so of all the things that you could be turning on the TV and watching, we're really grateful that you're here. So thank you for joining us. Yeah, there's all kinds of depressing news channels and stuff like that you could be watching on a Sunday morning. But we don't talk about what's going on in the global news cycle because that would make people really angry, and we don't want to make people angry. We just want to focus on virtual killing and building destruction and that sort of thing. The kind of things that you see in Age of Empires 2 competition. So each of these guys will take turns discarding maps, and the purpose of that discard is not to these are all custom maps made by the community to community published standards. The purpose of the discard is not really to get rid of stuff. It's to introduce a hierarchy for preference. So Sharky AoE, aka Oben 2000, and Hyder have to play on the map of the round first, and the remaining maps are discarded, and the last one to be discarded was Crater of Doom, so therefore that is what they will play as a second game. If they play a third game, it will be on Shogun. And meanwhile, Wisnatic versus Oladushek, the map of their round was Spring Hills when they happened to play this, and they took turns discarding. And so if they play a second game, it will be on Bear Valley, and if they play a third game, it will be on Shogun. Civilization Draft. The admin bans a bunch of civilizations. I think it's like 16 or something initially, and then they each globally ban 4 civilizations. And then they take turns picking civilizations. I think the higher seed picks the first one, the second, picks 2, etc. But the result is essentially that they pick 3, and then they snipe 1, and then they pick 3 more. So the result of that civilization draft has left Oben with the Koreans, the Dravidians, the Ethiopians, the Saracens, and the Mongols. A bunch of nasty civs. See the Koreans here for Cookie Pirate. And Hyder's been left with the Japanese, the Jurchens, the Romans, the Persians, and the Burmese. All right, and then we'll go back into the civilization draft for Wisnatic and Hyder later. But before we jump into the games, I just want to show you where these guys are at according to our analysis. So Hyder is rated as the 6th seed, a final elo of around 1830. Obun 2000, aka Sharky, is our 2nd seed at 2.1k, so he's got a significant elo advantage over Hyder. Wizanatic is our number 1 seed at 2.25k, and then Oladushek is our 4th seed at almost 2k1 here. So these are some pretty good players. They're not the best players in the world, but as far as I'm concerned, these guys are very formidable players, and we've seen upsets before. We've seen people beat some people that you would not expect just because they knew the map really well and prepared, and they had a good prepared strategy. All right, so having introduced the players, let me actually introduce the players. I showed you how good they are, but I didn't tell you what I knew about them. So Hyder's been with us since Alchemy League Season 1, and he is from Italy. We really appreciate that loyalty from Hyder. Wizanatic has been with us since Alchemy League Season 1, and we also really appreciate that loyalty. And he is from Germany. Both Hyder and Wizanatic have not missed a single season of Alchemy League, if you can believe that. Oladushek has been with us since Season 1 too, although I think he missed one season. I think he missed Season 2 because we didn't have custom maps. And Oban 2000, Sharky, is brand new. So maybe Hyder can pull off an upset here. Maybe not. We'll see. How is the final ELO so much different from the tournament ranked for some players? This right here. So this factor is a combination of tournament and ranked ELO. So it'll be somewhere in between them. If the algorithm looks at this and decides that somebody has been playing a lot of ranked games lately and not so many tournament games lately, then it'll basically make the final ELO match the ranked ELO, and that's kind of the tournament fraction behavior. So you can see here for Oladushek, he's actually been playing a significant number of league games compared to ranked games. So therefore, his actual tournament ELO, which is determined based on reassigning ELO of who he wins and loses against in Alchemy League, 57% of that, or almost 58% of that, is going to be that actual ELO that actual ELO instead of whatever he did on the ranked ladder, because that's a more accurate representation of what he's been up to lately. So that's a good question. You can see the same thing for Hyder here. And this is really what we want. I mean, we want people to be who maybe wouldn't be playing very much ranked right now. We want them to come to Alchemy League for entertainment, right? We want people to be enjoying the league so much that ranked maybe becomes less interesting to them. We don't want them to play less Age of Empires. That's not a very nice thing to say. But it's nice to see when people's entertainment for Age of Empires relies more heavily on our league. It's very flattering. All right, so we are into the first game. Let me change overlays. And we got Hyder versus Sharky, who is Oban 2000. All right, and we are on Kubu. Now, Kubu was made by Superhero 55, specifically for Alchemy League Season 10. He had a simpler version of the map, and we looked it over. It had already been uploaded to the workshop, and we didn't really want it because it had already been uploaded to the workshop. So we worked with Superhero, and we helped him to remaster it, and it's a better map now. It features different rotations for different players, and supports a higher number of players. It's more than just 1v1 now, and so that's pretty exciting. We can see that Sharky is playing as the blue Dravidians, and Hyder is playing as the purple Romans. Now, I'm not exactly sure why, but it does seem to be lagging. Let me see if I can close some outside applications to speed things up. let's close Outlook. Let's close Visual Studio Code. That should help a little bit. And then let's close Discord so you guys can't whisper to me. All right, maybe that helps, maybe that doesn't. I don't know. But so I like this map for both Dravidians and Romans. I think I don't own the Dravidians, but I've seen them enough. I mean, I don't really play Age of Empires anymore, to tell you the truth. It's kind of crazy that I'm even doing this. Sometimes I'm not really sure why I do this. I mean, I don't play Age of Empires anymore, so like, why do I care? Should go off and do something different, something that I could actually make money off of. But oh well, it's kind of a matter of pride at this point. We can't give up Alchemy League, and there are a number of other communities that would like Alchemy League to go away. Because we're stealing all the people that want new stuff. Alright, it's luring his boar in. So we're going to keep doing this. But anyway, I don't own the Dravidians, but from what I've seen of them, they are like a fast castle, unique unit civilization. They got those Rathas, and the Rathas like to run around, and they're very powerful, and they're difficult to counter for an opponent who does not have a well-developed economy. So, because the Ratha can transform into a ranged or melee unit, it can be difficult to deal with. Now, having said that, it still falls to monks. If you have enough monks and you're good enough at microing them, you can just convert the Rathas, and then it doesn't matter what form the Rathas are in. The monks will take them. And unique units are actually somewhat easier to convert than other units, I think. I don't know if that's like an intentional design choice or if it's just something that people notice because they're expensive. Sharky says, I go to pick my food. And Hyder says, yes. Sharky says, 1 second. Alright, so a little bit of chat here. What else do you need to know about... Well, I mean, you can see that they've kind of picked civilizations that either have fantastic economies, like the Romans, or a civilization that's good at fast castle and unique unit, like the Dravidians. And this map is a more closed map. It's one of the more closed maps of Alchemy League. You got big palisade walls. So you have the palisade walls won't keep somebody out forever. But they will give you a lot of warning, particularly if they're far away, about what your opponent is up to. Now, this particular version of Kubu has the 3 forests instead of 4. And you also got these choppable bonus patches of resources on either side. So these kind of form an obstacle that you can easily wall to. They'll never intersect the edge of the map, but you can easily wall to the edge of the map from them. And so if you really wanted to wall your corner in, you kind of could. You kind of could. So it looks like Sharky has actually built a barracks, which surprises me. I'm not expecting that, and I don't think Hyder knows about that barracks either. So they're both up to the feudal age pretty quickly. Neither of these guys, you know, Hyder is doing a 20 pop feudal age, and Sharky is doing something almost as fast. I mean, he's actually making units, and Hyder's got a barracks too. So these guys are both going to be aggressive in the feudal age, which I think is the right play. And Hyder's palisades, we see Hyder's on stone. Hyder's actually going to do a tower rush, which is fun. Now, I don't know if Hyder saw these units, but he's in a little trouble here. And I don't think Hyder was expecting this. I don't think he saw the units. Hyder's going to lose his scout, and he's got some villagers out here, which is never a good thing. And Sharky is getting the man-at-arms upgrade right now, and these villagers are going to be in big trouble once these become man-at-arms. They're just much more powerful. And Sharky also has, for whatever reason, some villagers out here. I think Sharky was also planning to... No, I don't necessarily... I don't know what these villagers are for. He's not on stone, so it doesn't seem to be a tower rush, and Hyder has to take a very bad villager fight here. I think Hyder should have bailed when he had the chance. But he maybe didn't know that Sharky was this committed to it. So Hyder's going to lose everything here. And Sharky's going to lose a little bit, but not as much. And all the purple units go down. Wait! Nope! 2 purple units survived. And so Sharky, knowing that this is his game now, is building a forward archery range. And Hyder trying to get away with these villagers, but they're both going to die. I think Hyder's a little frustrated. I think he's flustered. I think Hyder's a better player than that. I think he kind of would have known, but he was not expecting this from Sharky. And Sharky has not played in the league for very long. This is his first season, so Hyder may have only run into Sharky once or maybe twice so far this season. And when he did, he may not have played him on this map. So he may not have known that Sharky's iron commitment to early aggression. And let's count the villagers here by looking at a number. Oop, we just passed it. We just passed it again. There we go. So Hyder's 3 villagers behind Sharky, which is basically consistent with the villagers that he sent forward. So he has villagers on stone, but those villagers for Hyder are going to be they are going to be building towers. They're not going to be doing, well, they're going to be used to maybe build defensive towers, or maybe he's going to use them to build a defensive castle. And Hyder coming out here with, I think this is a misclick. I don't think he meant to come out here. There's no reason to walk out here with these units when you're still outnumbered. But sometimes units like to auto attack like that. But the best thing to do with them would be to stand ground behind the gate or something. Alright, so Sharky, he's on the prowl. He has reformed his military. He's scattered Hyder. Hyder has a single very hurt archer left over here. And Sharky going to come around and he's going to pressure this side. So the good news about this map is that if you are on the back foot, it's pretty easy to defend. You know, you just kind of have to wall these corners up. This is already walled for you. If this wall weren't here, Hyder would have to give away, to get the optimal wall, you know, he'd basically have to give away all of this. And right now he's just giving away this corner. So, doesn't need to finish this gate. This gate's pretty well armored for being a stone gate. He's building stone gates. He's not building palisade gates, because palisade gates are like tissue paper. They're very easy for enemy feudal armies to tear down. And Sharky's man-at-arms are working on this house, actually. And I think Hyder preparing for the possibility that these man-at-arms are going to get in. He's stone small walling his wood line. And he's got a couple of houses here. And he's also walling this. Now I think he needs to do a little bit more to defend the barriers. Yeah, that lady he didn't see. And so she gets picked off. And Sharky's now 4. Sharky, aka Oben, is now 5 villagers ahead of Hyder. Presumably because of some town center idle time. And look at this. It's crazy. He's building an archery range in Hyder's base. This is a get out of my game archery range right here. Sharky completely committed to Hyder's feudal age demise. And we're looking at Hyder's resources. He doesn't have the food to click up. And he doesn't have anything working on his farms right now. Although I think he could, but he's just busy. The townspeople have gathered to build a watchtower to defend and a lumbering site. So that, they're priorities. So Sharky comes over here instead, and he's going to pressure this house. And this is going to be the weak point through which he accesses Hyder's base. Hyder has a bunch of skirmishers, which is a big commitment. Look at all these skirmishers. It's where all of Hyder's food is going. And then Sharky, I don't really know how, but one of Sharky's man-at-arms got in here. And he's torn down the house, but he's not really going to go in here because Hyder is walled off the back. So Sharky maybe could send a man-at-arms or 2 around to the other side. It looks like Sharky has been very diligently building more man-at-arms. Let's take a look at Sharky's economy real quick. And he's kind of starting to get a sprawling farming economy going. He's got skirmishers creating from 2 ranges. And it's almost like he's doing a trash flood of Hyder in a way. Like a sort of trash rush. But he's got man-at-arms in there, and he's got a few archers in there, so it doesn't quite count as a trash rush. So Sharky, I guess he's just going to brave the town center. Just dives right through. Hyder wants to keep him trapped under the town center arrow fire. But if you have enough units, you just don't care. Alright, so here's the gate, and Sharky literally just walks through and takes Hyder off of gold, and this really hurts. These units do not need to be here. Hyder does not want these units here. A few villagers go down. There's just so many skirmishers. And these skirmishers have the armor upgrade as well. Look at the Dravidians. Skirmishers and elephant archers attack 25% faster, so he's using that to get a huge skirmisher advantage. He doesn't have maybe the numbers that Byzantines would have here, but these skirmishers have a much higher damage output, and he's basically using them to give cover to his man-at-arms. And skirmishers have enough pierce armor that they can sort of tank town center arrow fire, and so these man-at-arms are tearing down Hyder's archery range and taking Hyder off of gold, and Hyder realizing that he is doomed and calling the GG. So that was a pretty fun game. Sharky playing this in a very unexpected way, right? Most people seeing Dravidians on this map, they're going to think, oh, you know, they're going to do fast castle, it's easy to wall up, defend, and then they're going to come into my base with a bunch of unique units and confuse my countering strategies. But not Sharky. No, Sharky doing a mass skirmisher rush on Kubu. And Hyder probably enjoyed every minute of that, even though it was very stressful. Guys, I'm going to restart the game real quick. Because my game is lagged a little bit. Let me... Oh, I forgot to look at the statistics, but you can probably guess that the statistics for Hyder look not so great, but the statistics for Sharky, a.k.a. Oben, look really good. It was a very fast first game. Yeah, every once in a while, Linux Mint, it's hosting Age of Empires 2 and Proton, and so it's like it's going through an intermediate, and but it's still usually pretty fast. But this morning it was for that first game it was a little bit laggy, so I'm glad that the game ended and we have a chance to restart less inconveniently here. Well, and I'm not really going to complain too much. It was a fast game. My brother is visiting from Georgia this week, and so he's not here right now. He's off doing his own thing right now. It's Sunday after all, but he could come back. All right, let's watch the second game here, which is on Crater of Doom. So, with faster games, I'm more likely to be done by the time he gets back. Alright, so we're going to uncheck the Fog of War. This is much better. Thanks, guys, for bearing with me through the restart. And I think, yeah, we got... Let me toggle this. And yeah, let's leave it on this screen here. So this map is Crater of Doom. And I think so, yes, actually. Because any complaint that I have about Linux is not because of Linux. You know, you got to set up more stuff. It's less user friendly, but it can do everything that Windows can do at this point. It's just how much time do you spend Googling things and trying to read stuff and figure out, you know, how to make it do the same thing. But once you get used to it, it's equivalent. So my next machine, if I had $2,000 right now, I would buy another machine and I would put Linux on it. Just even though for that amount, you know, you could easily buy. Oh, Hyder fighting Sharky off a little bit. Oh, it's because Hyder wants to steal Sharky's boar, but Sharky's boar is trapped between the wood and the berries. And Sharky is not going to allow that. He's gonna come over here and he's gonna block Hyder. Oh no, this is disaster. Hyder trying to de-aggro the boar and failing. Sharky thwarting his plans. Hyder punished for his greed. He's playing as the purple Persians, and Sharky is playing as the blue Ethiopian. So now Hyder's trying to steal the boar with his scout. Oh boy, Hyder, this is gonna be tough. You got a 2K player microing his scout against yours, and the boar, and so here comes Hyder for some more. He's going to send 2 villagers this time, and Sharky's going to see that and get the boar first. So Hyder sees the boar running to Sharky's town center and finally gives up. Oh boy. Alright, so now all Hyder has to do is Persian douche. Alright, so anyway, this map this map was made by Jasuki for Alchemy League Season 10, or maybe it was reformatted by Jasuki for Alchemy League Season 10. Jasuki is from Spain. Superhero's from Pakistan. Jasuki is from Spain. Well, actually, he's from Venezuela, but he currently runs his business out of Spain, resides in Spain. Really smart guy. Love working with him. This map has been fun. It's kind of shaped like a stratovolcano. And you have this woody section out here that you chop through to get to the outside. And there's some bonus space out here, if you ever make it there. So Sharky's stealing some of Hyder's sheep. Wait, what? One of these sheep belongs to Hyder. And it's making its way towards Sharky's base, which I don't really understand that at all. Why would you give your opponent sheep? Maybe he accidentally scouted it somehow and lamed it. What is this? Does anybody know what this is? Can somebody explain this to me? If Hyder's in chat, tell me what's going on. So anyway, it's a fun map. It mostly plays a lot like Socotra, I would say. It's, I mean, it's possible that you can chop to the outside. The thickness of this woodline is random, but because the players start so close together, it's very rare that games go that far. So there's oysters in the middle, and you can potentially... Oh, alright, well that's why he sent the sheep. He needed to find the town center. So Hyder knows where the town center is. And here, Persian douche incoming. Hyder small walling his lumberjacks. And he has the wood for a Persian, for any town center. And Sharky does not see this coming. So Sharky doesn't know. So from his point of view, he just sees the town center foundation starting to come up. And this town center will deny his gold. Not that that really matters at all. It does not deny berries. Maybe a little bit due to luck. Sharky's on his way to the feudal age. And it does not deny any wood. So this town center is just here to destroy Sharky's town center. And I think Hyder's gonna die pretty soon. I don't know that I've ever seen... Ooh, Sharky managing to save that villager, which is good. I don't know that I've ever seen the Persian douche work on this map. I know a lot of people like it because it's pretty easy to predict where your opponent's town center is going to be. And it's pretty easy to predict where your opponent's woodline is going to be. And you can kind of mess with things, right? But fundamentally, you can't build a town center on their woodline. And you probably can't build a town center on their berries. So... you don't really get, like, double denial that way. So Sharky has reached the feudal age as Ethiopians. He's going to build a blacksmith, although he does not have even a barracks yet. Maybe the reason why the Persian douche is popular is because you got all these chickens out here living on this dormant stratovolcano whose caldera has been filled with swampy water and oysters. And the chickens and the rabbits are an excellent source of food. So you can keep making villagers even though you're doing crazy stuff like this. And Hyder has ejected a few repair ladies. And so they're going to keep his town center alive. This is a Persian town center with twice the health of a traditional Ethiopian town center. And Hyder's walled in here. So all that Sharky has to do to win the game... Here's his win condition, is keep the town center alive, which is actually surprisingly difficult. It's more difficult than you might imagine. All he's got to do is keep the town center alive, and then get an archery range. First he has to build a barracks, then build an archery range, then make some archers, and basically get in here on the wood line, and it's over. Now, as fate would have it, though, Sharky is going to let this go. He's going to let this town center go, and I actually think that is a mistake. But he maybe is bargaining that he'd be better off just building a new town center somewhere else. Now, maybe he feels like this town center is never going to threaten his wood line out here. So, you know, he doesn't really have to worry about... He's got a lot of villagers. He can small wall this in. Be a waste of time for Hyder to try to get in here. So he does small wall this. Hyder comes to villager fight. But Sharky is ready. Sharky has his small walls down. And Hyder is not able to get in. So, Sharky, no town center, no problem. He's just going to build a new one out here next to these other chickens. And he'll just have a short walking distance to the chickens. So, Hyder has a very forward position with his town center. But maybe not the best resources. And so these villagers are shanking things. And probably the object of greatest prominence that the villagers are shanking is the lumber camp. And Hyder tries to get in and villager fight and kill Sharky's lumberjacks, which is sort of his win condition, because he's never really gonna chase down Sharky's town center permanently. I mean, he can keep deleting and rebuilding town centers, but eventually have to start taking stone. You don't want to do that. You don't want to do that. So Hyder has a good wood supply. I don't think Hyder knows about Sharky's... Yeah, he actually has not even explored this location. He lost his scout early, which is not good for Hyder. Because if he had explored this area, he would see that these chickens are dying. And they're being killed. So he'd know that Sharky was doing something over here. And he might be able to assume that it was the new town center location. And so Sharky having to repair. The good news for Hyder, what he does have going for him is he's got a hill advantage, right? He's got all of these villagers attacking with hill advantage. It looks like something just got destroyed over here, and then something else got quick-walled. Maybe a stone wall here. Sharky desperately wants to keep Hyder out. And he's stonewalling. So Hyder's attacking downhill with a 25% damage bonus. And Sharky is repairing uphill with a 25% repair penalty. No, I'm just kidding. There's no penalty for attacking or repairing uphill. That would be absurd. Although maybe there should be, honestly, because if you're carrying in replacement materials, it's harder to carry all that weight uphill. I guess that's assuming that you need replacement materials, though. If you don't need replacement materials, if you really, are just rearranging things, putting them back in position. But that's inconsistent with Age of Empires logic, because I guess repairing still costs you materials, so you are spending something to fix it. It's not like you're just perfectly reassembling it, rebuilding your house of cards, if you will. So yeah, I maintain my previous statement. Repair penalty, uphill. Of course, that would be ridiculous. They'll never do that. But Hyder finally gives up. I'm wondering why that could be. Could it be that Hyder is now aware of Sharky's town center? So he's going to come over here and shut this down. Now you need a little bit of stone in order to... And he deletes his town center. And Hyder actually has more villagers than Sharky does. So Sharky's built all these things around his town center. Unfortunately for Hyder, this town center is not in range. So Hyder's just going to use this town center as a weapon to destroy Sharky's buildings. And Hyder has built a barracks, and he's got more villagers working on Sharky's... This is actually turning out to be a pretty good game. I'm surprised. He's got more villagers working on Sharky's lumber camp. Sharky has a bunch of villagers repairing. Sharky maintaining the lumberjacking from at least some villagers so that he can have enough wood to keep things repaired. And Sharky has a single scout here. And Sharky, he's building some archers. Alright, he's got one archer. And he's working on a second archer. And Hyder garrisoned in this town center, and he's actually destroying this archery range. He does 50 damage per hit, which is a lot. And this archery range is going to go down pretty quickly. And Sharky does not want to replace this archery range. It's going to be very expensive. Now, Sharky does have some archers here. And Hyder could try and catch these archers. But it's going to be a huge pain. So what's Hyder going to do to answer that? Sharky has built another archery range. And Hyder's villagers are just fleeing now. And I'm not sure where they're going. But Hyder is no longer taking wood. So Hyder's basically stuck at 436 wood for the foreseeable future. Loses 2 villagers. He's still ahead in villagers to Sharky. He's got 2 more villagers than Sharky. And I guess he's just going to shank this barracks down with some surplus villagers. Oh, and he's going to shank the archery range down. And I don't know if Sharky's going to get this final archer out of the range or not. Nope. But he built a new range. And Hyder having a hard time, I think, with... he's not even taking wood anymore. And he can't, really, because there are archers out now. He needs to chase these archers down. I think it's slowly starting to slip out of Hyder's control. What do you do now? You've destroyed the military buildings. The production buildings. He takes chickens. Alright, well that is a short-term solution. And we got Sharky's archers here harassing. They do have fletching, which helps a lot. Hyder's actually going to build a mill here, which surprises me because he's... Oh, actually, he's got something on wood now. Where is it? He came back here. Okay, so he's going to try to take some wood, which is good. He needs it. He's working to chop his way to the outside. And is Hyder going to try to play a normal game now? I don't think he can anymore. Sharky is pulled ahead in villagers. Okay, and Hyder has some militia here. And these militia are going to chase down the archers. So these are Sharky's 2 archers that are going to try to carry the game for him. And it looks like they're doing pretty well. These 2 archers killed like 5 villagers. Is Sharky making anything more from his archery range? And they're Ethiopian archers too, so they fire faster. Actually, Sharky is mass-producing archers now from 2 ranges, and he's adding a 3rd range. And so he's taken Hyder off of this resource. And Hyder is still in the Dark Age, mind you. And Hyder needs to get a wall up here real quick. Otherwise, these archers are going to break in. And I actually think this wall will do it. This villager will die. But most of Hyder's villagers are safe for now. And yeah, Sharky has a lot of stuff. So let's check Hyder's production, see what he's... Okay, Hyder's actually going up to Feudal Age. He desperately needs that. He's at a big technology disadvantage to Sharky. So if he can get Feudal Age, then he could potentially make towers, although he's out of stone because he rebuilt his town center here. So maybe Hyder can slip out somewhere and take some stone somewhere else on the map. Although the stone is right here and it's, you know, Sharky sees it. So that's not likely. Maybe if Hyder could slip out to the outside, but that's not likely either. So I don't know that Hyder has a lot of great options here. Although, oh, he's got food and wood. He'll just make skirmishers. So yeah, here are the archery ranges. He was going to go scouts. He was building a stable. But the skirmishers are cheaper. And Sharky has arrived with some villagers to build a tower on Hyder. And what do you do about that? I guess you just build a mill. And you build another lumber camp. And you just try and take as much lumber as you can. But this tower is definitely a big inconvenience. And Hyder does not have the means to charge it because there are too many archers out here. If these archers weren't here, Hyder would be totally deleting these houses and just charging this tower. So now Hyder has to delete this mill and flee with these villagers. There's nowhere else to go. So Sharky coming around to the side that this isn't the safe side, but it's more leeward because the tower isn't there. The tower's garrisoned. All these villagers are cornered, and Hyder calls the GG. Sharky pulls out a win against a very unconventional strategy. Maybe it would have been different if Hyder had succeeded in his lane. Or at least maybe not lost a villager. So maybe failed but kept his villager alive. Who knows? But there was a time in which Hyder was looking okay. Let's take a look at the achievements here. So Sharky with 29 kills, 3 deaths, largest army of 26. So Sharky, aka Oban, he had a pretty good showing here. Most of those kills were Hyder's villagers. Maybe Hyder had a few. We saw a few militia that Sharky could have killed, but that's a lot of villagers. The game ends at 29 minutes with both players still in the feudal age. Economy. Sharky collected more resources of every kind. Makes sense. He was trying to keep his town center alive, and Hyder was deleting his town center and trying to kill Sharky's town center. Sharky, much faster feudal age. Look at this. Had ultimately a larger villager high. But, 16, 18 minutes into the game, I think it looks like it peaked around 14 minutes. Hyder was winning this until around 14 minutes. And this is basically where the archers came in and started doing their thing. And by the time Hyder reached feudal age, it was too late. So now we're going to go back to show you the civilization draft. The maps for Wizenatic and Oladushik, we'll review that. So Oladushik and Wizenatic will be playing on Spring Hills and Bear Valley, and then maybe Shogun after that. Their civilization draft has left Wizenatic with the Japanese, the Cumans, the Mapuche, the Mongols, and the Spanish, and Oladushik has the Berbers, the Dravidians, the Georgians, the Jurchens, and the Vikings. Alright, so let's jump into the games. Alright, so the first game is on Spring Hills. We'll unpause here. So Spring Hills, it was made by Jasuni, not Jasuki. That's so confusing, and it's just such a... What are the chances that two guys with very similarly sounding names would both be making maps for Alchemy League? It's it's kind of funny how that happened. Oladushik is... So Jasuni had this vision for... I think this is like an Age of Empires 3 map that it was inspired by. You basically have one wood line, and this is sort of your pressure point. But the rest of your base is secured by towers early on. And, you could sort of threaten things, but the towers can reach a lot. So feudal age aggression is somewhat questionable, but you might be able to make something happen depending on how your woodline spawns. Like, look at Oladushek's woodline here. Cookie Pirate says, Cookie Pirate remembering a thing or two from his Age of Empires days. He said, this looks like it heavily favors the Mongols. I agree. I think there's a lot of huntable meat on this map that the Mongols could take more quickly. So Oladushek likes the Berbers on this map because he likes to do some kind of fast castle into maybe Camel Archer or something, some powerful unique unit like that. You could potentially go scouts or maybe like towers or something and try to deny your opponent's single wood line. So you do have some feudal age options, but I do feel that they are less than traditional Arabian. And Wizenatic, the Mongols have a really nasty castle age, or a really nasty castle unit, the Mangadai. But it's really hard to get the Mangadai all of the upgrades that they need to be totally epic. The Mangadai are only mediocre by themselves in early castle age. They don't come out of the box good like camel archers do. Cookie Pirate said, red also has a rough wood line compared to blue. Yeah, blue has a better wood line here. I think that blue's wood line's a little bit luckier, right? It's harder it would be harder for red to come in and stand at the base of this lumber camp. And although he can kind of stand here, I guess, if he's got small enough archers, but blue will probably be smart and like zone this off and build a wall here. Whereas this wood line, you know, look at it. The end of it's all the way out here, so it's going to be a little bit harder to secure for Oladushek. Now, Oladushek has not scouted Wizanatic yet, and Wizanatic has not scouted Oladushek yet. They both have been pushing deer, and Wizanatic actually came out here and he's got a forward house going, and he's taking some fox. So the foxes are an excellent source of just like convenient, cheap gold that you can use to just sort of put you over a little bit over the top. They don't require a drop site at all, but it just gives you a little bit more. If you're maybe you build an extra militia, you know, maybe you do something that involves a very small amount of gold, I guess. He's built a forward house here, and then he's going home, which actually surprises me. I thought that this villager being out here building this house meant that he was going to go forward, but that does not appear to be the case. This is a vision house. This is a house that was built because Wizanatic believes that Oladushek will walk by this location, even though there's not a lot of vision provided by this house. It could potentially be something. But Wizanatic doesn't even know where Oladushek is. He could be over here for all he knows. So I really don't... I don't know that I agree with this house. I'm not 100% sure that this house makes a lot of sense. But maybe maybe he's going to build some more of them or something, so they'll be more effective in a net. And he's taking some deer here. Mongols take deer very quickly. The deer actually, it's like a Mongolian villagers. They're like deer vacuum cleaners. Wizanatic has a very good build. It's basically perfect. He's going to push these deer in and do all of these other feudal age things. You saw how, like, as soon as the lady dropped off the meat, instead of going over here to get the last of the meat, which would be inefficient because there's only 8 of it, he immediately assigns them to berries. And Oladushek doing a similar type of build. He's got 4 on wood, same as Wizanatic, so this tells me that they're planning fast castle. Oladushek has claimed some bonus sheep here. There's a little Arctic hare. Not really too much going on in these peaceful Spring Hill countryside. And they're both on their way up to the feudal age, which is the next thing I was going to check. Wizanatic's going to be there a little bit sooner as Mongols. Wizanatic going up on 23 pop. Oladushek is going up on 22 pop. And he's, I don't know, so maybe Oladushek with some idle time, maybe with some loom. Alright, Oladushek actually has loom. Wizanatic does not have loom, which is probably a big part of the reason. So, why would Oladushek think that he needs loom? Well, it's Oladushek. He always needs loom. He's been pushing this deer in. Oh, that's unfortunate. The deer ran back at the last minute. So what's it going to be? Well, Wizanatic is kind of now scouting. I think they're both just going to play nice and do fast castle. It's kind of an easy map for that. He's not even trying to find Oladushek at this time. I would think he'd be curious about, like, what is my opponent doing? But he seems to feel pretty confident from these towers. We see a blacksmith and a market from Wizanatic. And Wizanatic has the food to click up and has the gold to click up. So this is a lightning Mongolian fast castle. 23 pop. Naked fast castle. Wizanatic is not scared at all. So he's clicked up to the castle age. And let's see what Oladushek is doing. Market blacksmith. So Oladushek also doing a fast castle. And Oladushek also clicked up to the castle age. I like Wiznatic's build a little bit better. I'm not exactly sure why Oladushek got Loom then if he was going to do. Maybe he feels like, you know, I don't know what my opponent's doing. My opponent could show up with scouts or archers. Oladushek is actually scouting Wiznatic, so Oladushek actually cares. But he also kind of wants to know where the wood line is. He wants to know where all the resources are. It's classic Oladushek thinking. I guess he's gonna just say hi. Oh, he notices that Wiznatic does not have Loom, and Wiznatic garrisons in the tower just in time. Oladushek sees that town center. He's like, well, all right, well, better not go that way. So Oladushek has found Wiznatic's golds. He's found Wiznatic's woodline, and so he knows that Wiznatic has backstone, presumably. So Oladushek might actually drop the castle on Wiznatic. We'll see. I mean, he clearly, he's able to tell that Wiznatic is not... Ooh, and he looks like he's just barely going to miss this, which is lucky for Wiznatic. Yeah, look at that. Oladushek just barely misses all of these villagers collecting hairs. He knows that Wiznatic doesn't have any feudal age military running around, so that does sort of give the possibility of a castle drop. But if you believe that your opponent is going fast castle, then maybe you want to keep your castle at home to defend from the unique unit that they would build. So Wiznatic is not building any unique unit, though. Wiznatic is not on stone at all. So what is Wiznatic going to do? He's getting Bowsaw, so he's getting the economy upgrades, and he's just going to... Okay, Oladushek has found this now, and actually Wiznatic does not have Loom, but Wiznatic is able to fight it off. He's going to add a town center, and Wiznatic's just going to Mongolian boom across the map and spread his influence out. And Oladushek is going to build a castle. So Wiznatic sees this castle. So we check Wiznatic's Fog of War. He knows that the castle is going up. And he knows that camel archers will be coming. And, you know, we should probably take that seriously. He's added one town center. And he's modestly... Alright, he's going to build a siege workshop. That's his answer. So... I would think monks would be a good choice too, but well, maybe, you know, maybe some scorpions or something. I don't know. It just seems like Oladushek's camel archer micro will be a huge pain against mangonels. But maybe Oladushek, maybe Wiznatic thinks, well, you know, I'll just out micro my opponent. I'll just attack ground where I think those camel archers are going to be going. And yeah, it is going to be mangonels. So it's going to be mangonel defense. Now that Wiznatic has ascertained that Oladushek built a castle. And the camel archers immediately come out, and why not, right? Oladushek knows his opponent doesn't have anything. Although he might have found the siege workshop. Oops, we need Oladushek's point of view. Actually, he has not found the siege workshop. So this camel archer can literally just sit. Well, he wants to get it inside the range of the tower because he believes that the camel archer could be used to like block the villager and assure the villager kill. Alright, he knows about the siege workshop now. We see that this camel archer just barely surviving all those rocks being thrown at it. And sure enough, here's the Oladushek camel archer. Oh, actually, we're not going to see it. He's going to run. And he's going to gather over here. So, Wiznatic is on 2 town centers. He knows that if he just survives, he can win. He can build up an economy lead over Oladushek. And he has a 10 villager lead so far. Camel archers have not found much value. What Oladushek needs now is he needs a forward siege workshop. But instead he's going to try and micro these. Ooh, losing a camel archer. There's 2 mangonels here. This is a disaster. Manages to micro down 1 mangonel, and that I don't think that was worth it. He lost 3 camel archers. Here's the mangonel another mangonel that Wiznatic has, and I think Oladushek needs a forward siege workshop, especially because Wiznatic is adding another town center. So here comes some. All right, this is gonna be good. Yep, here's the forward siege workshop. This is the vulnerable location. He knows that in order to defend this town center, Wizanatic has to build another siege workshop, or he's got to roll his mangonels through this no man's land here. And if they're out in the open, they'll be easier for him to pick off. That's the Oladushek logic. Now, Wizanatic actually spots this siege workshop going down. Wizanatic has fantastic mechanics. It's really hard to sneak up on Wizanatic. You know, he'll, like, look at that. He nails the villager. I mean, not that she was really watching, but that's an important win for Wizanatic. And the Camel Archers take a very hard hit here. Oladushek dives the mangonel, and he's actually manages to get one. I mean, there's only 3 Camel Archers. What's he gonna do with that? I guess he decides not to pursue the other mangonel. He does manage to finish the siege workshop. He has to send another villager forward. And so now Wizanatic is kind of blind. Decides he wants some skirmishers to deal with the Camel Archers, realizing how committed Oladushek is to this. Or maybe he sees this siege workshop and he thinks, well, you know what? I could use some skirmishers now. I shouldn't lean so heavily into the mangonels. I'm going to be mangonel fighting Oladushek, and Oladushek with a proper snipe there kills the villager, thwarts the outpost, and he's got, oh boy, he's got 3 Camel Archers. Wizanatic sending a repair villager, and Oladushek trying to finish off this mangonel, but he's not going to, and these Camel Archers will go down. Oh. Could you imagine if he kept his Camel Archers alive? I think he should have killed the villager. Maybe he tried to, but misclicked. Oh, Oladushek, not like this. Not like this, Oladushek. Just kill the villagers, man. Just kill the villagers. Okay. He managed to kill one. And now he's got to run away. Wow. Somehow this mangonel survived, which is impressive. Oladushek is continuously making new Camel Archers, so that's good for him. But if he hadn't lost any, he'd probably have like 20 Camel Archers right now. It'd be pretty scary. I'd love to see Oladushek throw down, see if he's got the wood for it. Not really. He's been building mangonels. I'd love to see him throw down a stable, make a knight or two, you know, to dive these mangonels. Wizanatic would be in big trouble because Wizanatic does not have any monks or anything. But Oladushek seems to be confident in his ability to out-micro Wizanatic with mangonels. And, alright, well, this is a pretty aggressive castle. Camel Archer's taking a big hit here. Mangonel rolling forward. And we have a counter castle from Wizanatic. This is some pretty high-stakes stuff. Wizanatic knows that all he's got to do is just kill Oladushek's mangonel, and he can beat Oladushek in the castle construction, and that's exactly what he's going to do. Oladushek is going to fail to get this castle up. The villagers are going down. Oladushek shanking the... Oh no, now they both lost their mangonels, so Wizanatic's just going to finish his castle first. And this is a denied castle from Oladushek. And Oladushek calls the GG. I would have liked to see Oladushek, instead of building another mangonel, you know, build a... He had the resources for it. Build a stable and maybe make a few knights. I'm not sure why he didn't. He's a much better player than I am, so there's got to be a good reason for why he didn't do that, but I am curious. Wizanatic surviving on this map with the greedy 3-town center boom and just pure mangonel defense, basically, with a defensive castle at the end to counter Oladushek's escalation. Let's take a look at the achievements. So Wizanatic with 40 kills, 18 deaths. And with a kill-to-death like ratio like that, you can afford to boom on all town centers. Oladushek had more stone collected, but only slightly. And some more gold collected, and Wizanatic had some more food collected. Better advancement times from Wizanatic. Both one castle at the end. Because Oladushek did not finish his second castle. Let's check out Game 2 on Bear Valley. I agree, Cookie Pirate. GG. So Bear Valley was made by Zetnus for Alchemy League Season 10. It's kind of random what the season could be, what the bears are doing. But there's very often some extra fish here that the bears hunt. And then there are also a lot of berries because bears enjoy berries. And I'm not really sure what this rock is doing here. This is a sandstone desert rock. That might be a bug because there's polar bears here. Polar bears don't really live in valleys like this. So these polar bears, I imagine that this is like a big nature preserve. Like this is a zoo. And these are competing zookeeper factions. And that's why the bears are in this contrived situation. But I barely ever think about it, so I don't really know for sure. What I do know that is that it's a great map, and we're grateful that it's a pretty map too. It's true. We're grateful for Zetnus providing it to us. Oladushik is playing as the red Dravidians, and Wizanatic is playing as the blue Mapuche. So I don't know too much about the Mapuche. I guess we could hover over their bonuses now. Wizanatic. So their foragers drop off extra food, so they just pick more berries than usual. Their settlements can train spearmen, line, and skirmishers, so counter units. Their infantry, slingers, and skirmishers have extra hit points. Their mounted units generate gold when they defeat military units. Alright, so every time a mounted unit belonging to the Mapuche kills an enemy military unit, they get 3 gold. That's kind of cool. Enemy castles are revealed on the map. Wow, that's kind of OP. Their unique unit is a Kona, a cavalry, and a Bolas rider, a mounted archer. Unique technologies, Melon, which allows some of their units to deal more damage. And Butel Mapu. Team Castle unique units and Bolas riders cost minus 15%. And their spearmen and skirmishers have extra line of sight. That used to be the old Incan team bonus, I think. But this is one of the South American civs, maybe an Incan derivative. This is a comfortable map too. I think this map is pretty easy to fast castle. Although there is contest in the middle often over these bears and berries. So we've seen players like dock the river and take a little bit of extra food that way, some shorefish, and then we've also seen players build galleys. We've seen players build demolition rafts. We've seen players do all kinds of things. Christian Blavi is here, 834. Welcome. And he's saying horses. Yeah, they're a cavalry civilization. The Spanish brought over horses with the intent to conquer South America. And the Mapuche leaned into the horses and said, we can use these to build an empire of our own. And maybe they did. I don't know. I don't know much about the Mapuche, to tell you the truth. But that's kind of part of the reason why the developers would release them. Maybe it generates curiosity about kind of like an entry point for, maybe a casual player to be like, this is kind of interesting. I wonder who these guys were like in real life. That's a good trope to lean into for a game like Age of Empires, which focuses on history. That's kind of what we do for Alchemy League as well. We have thematic seasons of the league that get people interested in a certain place or time. Alchemy League Season 11, whose registrations will be opening really soon, actually, probably in the next week or so. Within this next coming week. Actually, 2 days, I think, is when I open the registrations. It's based in 1750s North America. The French and Indian War. So, Oladushik has come forward to build forward dock, and he's actually fighting this polar bear here. And does this polar bear have food? No, it doesn't. But Wizanatic scouts it with his Champy Scout. And Wizanatic sending a bunch of stuff. I don't know if this is to just fight this. It looks like it is to fight this. Cookie Pirate says, I want the Hawaiians or other Polynesians for tribal warfare and seafaring. Now that could be pretty interesting. Christian Blavi says, I love this civ. It's from my country, Chile. Oh, the Mapuche are the precursors of the Chileans. I did not know that. Alright, so Wisnatic very aggressively... Look at this. He's killed 2 villagers with this forward villager rush. And I'm surprised that Oladushik has not walled this in somehow. Like, wouldn't you want to keep these villagers safe? Wouldn't you want to build a wall around them and maybe the shorefish? Wisnatic has reached the feudal age now. And Oladushik has built a barracks. And I guess he's going to fight this. I don't really know why they had to fight this, to tell you the truth. Like, there's plenty of river for everybody. But Wisnatic just coming here for some action. And I guess he's got to run now. Oladushik got some reinforcements. Oh no. And some bears have found Wisnatic's villager. And Oladushik's like, well, good luck with that, and walls it out. Oh no, the bears are chasing Oladushik. See, that's one of the things you can never really tell. It looks like a bear is chasing Wisnatic, and one bear is chasing Oladushik here. So he should get the hill advantage, and Wisnatic goes home. Or sends the weak villagers home. Looks like more villagers are coming out. Okay, he fights that bear. Now what? Just build a dock, Wisnatic. Just build a dock and play a normal game. Nope. He's gonna tower. He wants to deny this. This is a pressure point. This is a Mapuche. I wonder if he's gonna, like, maybe make some counter units from these settlements, because they have the bonus for that. But there's a grappling ship here that Oladushik had ready, and Wisnatic loses a villager. Wisnatic actually still has a villager lead, if you can believe that, which is kind of crazy. Despite all of Wisnatic's misadventures over here. Maybe it was because Wisnatic was disrupting Oladushik's economy. Like, look, Oladushik has nothing at home. So Oladushik probably has a lot of town center idle time, just because he's trying to keep these food gatherers busy. Either taking fish or taking berries. Right now he's taking the fish because the fish are faster. And he's going to add another dock here, because I think that this is actually isolated from this other area. I don't think you can navigate between these two pools of mangrove shallows that are masked with snow. So Oladushik has this Hulk that is just kind of patrolling here. Keep his villagers safe. Hulks are supreme melee combatants on water. Better than most land units, really. Better than villagers, certainly. Look at this. They have 4. They attack fast. They deal 4 damage, as opposed to a villager's 3 damage. And the Hulks have 4 melee armor. So Wisnatic going to come over here and build a settlement on these berries. And he's going to build a barracks, too. And the barracks would imply champies. And he's going to pressure Oladushik's activities over here, of which he is not familiar. But he knows that this is here, and he probably still wants to get at this, so he'll discover this on his way over there. The barracks is right here, so he'll come by and he'll see these villagers fishing, and he'll know that he's got an opening. And Oladushik will actually have to make another Hulk to deal with this. Actually, Wisnatic is mass producing. He's breeding legions of skirmishers because Oladushik is in on Wisnatic's base and we missed it. He's got an archer and 2 man-at-arms. So Wisnatic has to create a skirmisher to fight that off. He sort of set the gather point here. He's got another skirmisher approaching from the north that could end up fighting on its own. And the settlement functioning as a wall. The skirmishers come forward to target the archer. And Oladushik is coming forward. And Oladushik, what does he want? He wants to build a tower. Well, this is a vicious tower. This tower is on Wisnatic's main gold. And I think Oladushik knows about this other gold too. Let's check. He does not. He does not know about this gold, so Wisnatic could simply pivot to this gold. This gold is not as important for Wisnatic. However, Oladushik might discover Wisnatic's other gold. He certainly discovers this wood line here. So he sees that there are some villagers taking wood over here, so now he's going to head this way. he wants to finish this tower, and he does. Wisnatic deletes his palisade wall to come out here and just charge this tower down. Oladushek has a villager attacking the base of Wisnatic's tower. I think that Oladushek should just charge this tower with his man-at-arms. But the man-at-arms fight the villagers off at, at great cost. They've taken a lot of damage from this tower. Wisnatic just waiting for these man-at-arms to die so that he can do that again. But Oladushek actually does manage to kill one of Wisnatic's villagers. So he did give Wisnatic a little bit of a bloody nose over that. But this tower is not going to last. Wisnatic will eventually overpower Oladushek. But they're actually tied in villagers right now. Oladushek with a slight villager lead over Wisnatic. Looks like Oladushek is also continuing to make man-at-arms. Wisnatic not realizing his villager fighting that, perhaps. Some skirmishers out. The man-at-arms do go down. This tower is toast. Oladushek should bail. But the villager actually dies with hammer in hand, swinging a repair stroke, which is dedication for you right there. And Oladushek has to abandon his attack. But he's got a villager lead over Wisnatic now. And I don't think they fought anywhere else. I don't see any dead people or anything like that. Any dead bodies floating in the mangrove bog. So Oladushek is gonna wall himself in to fight. Oh no! All right, he deletes the wall and he's gonna try to get out with this villager. Decides it's not worth it because there's skirmishers here that could kill his villager anyway. So Oladushek is not going to escape with this villager. Wisnatic will make sure that Oladushek cannot escape. That other skirmisher blocking the villager. Wait a second, what? Alright, yeah, he gets it. So Oladushek with a 6 villager lead. No, an 8 villager lead, sorry. Over Wisnatic. All of those shenanigans in Wisnatic's base. Now, I'm not sure how much of that is fishing ships. So he continuously fights bears to keep the bears at bay and continue collecting resources. But Wisnatic is Castle Age now, which should send a shock through Oladushek's village. Oladushek should say, uh-oh, it's Castle Age. I need to get up immediately. And Oladushek will. He's just about got the food. Yeah, he's got the food and the gold for it now. So Oladushek could click up anytime, and he clicks up now. Oladushek sees that Wisnatic is Castle Age, so he knows that he can't afford to dawdle or get left behind. Wisnatic coming to Oladushek's side of the map with some skirmishers. And Wisnatic is also making a Bolas Rider, I believe is what they are called. Yes. He's making some Bolas Riders, which I think are basically just fancy cavalry archers. Maybe somebody in chat can explain how they're fancy. It would enrich my stream. But technically, as your caster, that's, imagine that, right? Imagine expecting me to explain it. But this isn't that kind of a stream, really. The important thing you need to know is that there's some kind of cavalry archer. If somebody wants to add the details, that's fine. I guess we could potentially look it up, but yeah, that's fine. They're a special cavalry archer. Look at this. They got a sling. And I think maybe a charge attack too. So some kind of slinged cavalry archer with a charge attack. That's the important thing about them. So Oladushek has a little pack of archers here, which is actually kind of useful that these archers are keeping these Bolas Riders entertained. Because while the Bolas Riders are here harassing Oladushek's archers, Oladushek has a base that does not have any Bolas Riders in it. So I think Oladushek is actually fine with losing these archers, if it means that Wisnatic's Bolas Riders stay out of his base for a little bit longer. He's got some skirmishers staged for those Bolas Riders, but not enough. And Wisnatic maybe feels behind. It was kind of a big, sweaty struggle here. Flaming Tower and such. So he's playing more aggressively than he had in the past. He's got a couple of archery ranges. Made Bolas Riders from both. Oladushek has a man at oh! Demolition Raft here as Oladushek goes for the skirmishers. Nice big juicy explosion. Kills 3 of them. Injures 2 others. And you can bet that Oladushek is making another Demolition Raft here. He'd love to blow up the Bolas Riders. But the Bolas Riders are not going to hang around. So Oladushek will have to develop countermeasures to the Bolas Riders that can protect land assets, like lumber camps. And I think that that comes in the form of an Elephant Archer here. The Elephant Archer has way more health than the Bolas Rider. And Oladushek actually maybe trapping these Bolas Riders? No, they're not trapped. They slip through, they pick off a couple villagers, which is a big nuisance for Oladushek. He's got Bolas Riders in his woodline. It's like having Eagle Warriors in your woodline. Just huge pain. Alright, and I guess this wasn't walled either because Oladushek just walks right through. And so Wisnatic actually tying up the villager count here. The Bolas Riders are going to try to snipe some fishing ships with the fishing ships garrison. There are no demolition rafts prepared here. So the Bolas Riders are spared. And Wisnatic has 12 Bolas Riders now. And Oladushek has an Elephant Archer and a bunch of skirmishers chasing them. But elephants are slow. So don't expect a major fight to occur. As Wisnatic just snipes a fishing ship. Oladushek knows he's got to run. But unfortunately his villagers are pinned against these berries. And they have to fight a bear. And Wisnatic is here. And he's going to kill everything. So Wisnatic killing those villagers and taking the villager lead now against Oladushek. Can Oladushek stop these Bolas Riders? That is the question. He is getting ballistics now, so he's going to keep trying. Ballistics will help his unit to anticipate where these Bolas Riders will be and then pick them off. Although this is very bad here for Oladushek. I don't know why his Elephant Archer is deploying this way. Luckily for Oladushek, Wisnatic's Bolas Riders curve south instead of curving north. And this is the kind of thing that only a demolition raft can really, I think, fix. Although Oladushek is playing very aggressively, and he's got a forward siege workshop here. Wisnatic gonna snipe this forward villager that was building it, which will definitely get in the way of Oladushek's plans. Oladushek has a demolition raft in this dock. And mangonels firing, smushing skirmishers. This is not looking good for Oladushek at all. The villagers come forward, but he knows he can't get it up. He's got to withdraw, so he's going to build the siege workshop here instead. Now, I wonder if Oladushek ejects a demolition raft just to kill these mangonels, if you can even do that. Oladushek also realizing he can't build the siege workshop here either. So he's got mangonels working on his dock. Wisnatic has made a monk to convert elephant archers. And this is looking like Wisnatic's game. Demolition ship trying to get a hit on this mangonel, but not quite destroying it. Wisnatic knowing not to let his Bolas Riders in on this demolition raft, or demolition ship now. Wisnatic with an attack ground. So now, with this dock out of the way, Wisnatic can actually come forward. Oladushek is in big trouble. Now he's going to come destroy the other dock. And he's got 4 mangonels attacking with a hill, so he's going to destroy it pretty quickly. Oladushek building a demolition ship. Too bad we don't see Oladushek doing like redemption or something. He could probably convert a lot of mangonels. Wisnatic realizing that Oladushek is here with a mangonel of his own. And is this the demolition raft that saves Oladushek? Not quite. These mangonels both 1 HP. That's pretty impressive. Oladushek being converted here. He's got to run. This dock is still up. Oladushek making another demolition raft here. Bolas Riders getting hit by the mangonel. Here comes the demolition raft. It blows up the mangonel, actually. Another demolition raft being made by Oladushek. Oladushek somehow managing to keep this dock alive. I think these defensive mangonels are helping. Although being converted didn't help. Demolition raft comes out, destroys another mangonel, and Wizanatic is out of mangonels. I think Wizanatic needs to make some more mangonels, but he's busy booming on 2 town centers. Okay. I think Wizanatic is going to do a castle. Sending some villagers forward. Yeah, he's got the stone. The question is where. No, he's doing another town center. The madman. He must feel very comfortable in his villager lead, and he's got a 15 villager lead over Oladushek. These Bolas Riders are doing pretty well for him. Oladushek has some elephant archers here. Where are the rest of Wizanatic's monks? Wizanatic had a monk. Where are they? Alright, town center goes up. Oladushek unable to flee with the mangonel. He's got a very vulnerable eco that Wizanatic has not hit. I don't really understand why Wizanatic hasn't hit it yet. He's got these Bolas Riders here. Maybe he's waiting for the castle to go up, and then he'll send the Bolas Riders around to just raid Oladushek's very exposed economy. Oladushek building a dock in secret here. I don't know if Wizanatic... Nope, Wizanatic cannot see it. So Oladushek wants to have a demolition ship come out of nowhere. And he actually decides to sacrifice the mangonel so these Bolas Riders do not follow it back to the dock. So that's why you saw him try to take a shot at the Bolas Riders. So he completes this dock. And he's got an army of elephants lumbering forward. And Wizanatic has to withdraw from these berry bushes here. And let's see what Wizanatic knows. I don't think Wizanatic knows about that dock still. No, he does not. He's explored the area, but since he explored the area, Oladushek built a dock here. And the Bolas Riders... Alright, they're going to come back and try to help this university go up. Oladushek deciding he's going to pressure from this direction. And this is actually kind of a more vulnerable direction, too. The hill advantage has been neutralized. We got a melee unit here, the Kona, their castle unit. Destroys the mangonel before it's able to get off a shot. However, the elephant numbers are starting to get dangerous for Wizanatic. So Wizanatic has bought himself a significant villager lead. You know, basically 25 villagers ahead, which is a lot. But Oladushek has a big army of elephant archers now. Not that Wizanatic doesn't have a large army of these Bolas Rider thingies, but the Bolas Riders are not as tough as the elephants. This is a monastery. Oladushek probably wants to destroy the monastery so that monks can't come out and ruin his plans. And Wizanatic is on his way to the Imperial Age. And he's building another settlement. So Wizanatic is imping on 80 villagers. Mangonel's coming into town. And I don't know what Oladushek's win condition is. It seems that at this point, Wizanatic can basically just boom faster than Oladushek can kill him. This mangonel is taking some arrow shots from the town center. I guess he's just gonna let it go. Oh, wait, what? Survives. He's gonna destroy Wizanatic's siege workshop. Wizanatic has some mangonels, but I think he misclicks because he only killed one mangonel with his 2. And which town center is... Oh, no! You've got to be kidding me. Why? Wizanatic? Why? Wizanatic knows better, too. Should totally be imping... I guess maybe at that time, Oladushek appeared to be coming from this direction. So Wizanatic picked this town center to imp from. And this town center... Is he going to get imp in time? He's desperately repairing it. Oladushek exploiting the repair, and imp comes in, and now he doesn't need it anymore. Jeez. Alright, so Wizanatic is in Imperial Age. Oladushek has destroyed one of Wizanatic's... Oladushek sees this castle go down, so he relocates. Somehow Oladushek has a score lead through all this, which is just incredible. And I guess Oladushek decides he's going to go for these town centers next. And Wizanatic has made a bunch of Bolas riders, and he still has a bunch of elite skirmishers. I don't know why these guys haven't... Nobody's tech switched into a melee unit. And Wizanatic is going to tighten his grip over the berries in the center. He's kind of got a castle defending it. 2 castles defending it, so it makes sense. He's got economy there. And Oladushek is just sort of doing a Bengali-style rampage through Wizanatic's town. He's added more and more mangonels. Wizanatic has killed 2 mangonels. Oladushek... Oh, finishes town center. Alright, he finishes it. And they're still, even though Wizanatic is in Imperial Age, they're still playing, like, a game of cat and mouse with these mangonels. Alright, so those mangonels mutually annihilate. Oladushek manages to grind down this mangonel, because he knows that if he grinds down the mangonel, these elephant archers can fight these Bolas riders all day. Wizanatic will not engage. Is Wizanatic coming for, like, a desperate pass on these mangonels, which makes more sense because these guys are Imperial Age now, so they got more upgrades. Maybe he feels like he can kill the mangonels more effectively with the Bolas riders. And the elephants are here to provide cover fire. And not a lot of Bolas riders left, but no mangonels left, which was kind of his goal. So Oladushek is making more mangonels from this siege workshop that he built. Where is that siege? Right here. And he's kind of forced back. He sort of has destroyed half of Wizanatic's base. Wizanatic actually hitting his own Bolas riders with his mangonel, but not too bad, I guess. Mostly hitting Oladushek. And so Oladushek is still behind in villagers, and Wizanatic has destroyed most of Oladushek's army, although Oladushek is building more forward buildings. He's got a mangonel here. He's destroyed... Wizanatic, I think, doesn't realize... Okay, he realizes now. He comes here. And I think Oladushek is out of steam now. Surely Oladushek has been defeated. I don't see that there was much fighting here. Although Oladushek has a garrisoned siege workshop, which is never a good sign for a castle. Let's see what he's got over here. He's got an elephant and a mangonel in it. So he could potentially eject the elephant. But the thing is that Wizanatic can make defensive melee units at that castle. So he'll need to do it all at once. Like, he'll need a bunch of elephants to all pop out at the same time. And what is this? What? Oladushek, really? Come on. His time is better spent somewhere else. He should get a 1-for-1 with this mangonel. Oh, not quite. Alright, he does. There's another mangonel here that sort of died for free, but that's just what happens in these sorts of things sometimes. Alright, so Wizanatic is taking the initiative. Oladushek has been cleaned out of his base, mostly. Oladushek has not made anything more from this siege workshop yet. but he's adding another town center. He's actually got 2 town centers over here, and he's got his original town center still. Unlike Wisnatic, actually, who lost his original town center, but he rebuilt it. Because he had farms there. Well, okay, makes sense. So now what? Oladushek is still in Castle Age. He does not have the resources to get up to the Imperial Age. I don't know if he's ever going to have the resources to get up to the Imperial Age, to tell you the truth. Wisnatic may close out this game. Why doesn't Wisnatic just make some trebuchets now? You know, and just roll forward, destroy a bunch of stuff, and indeed he does. End the game right there with a trebuchet. So, Oladushek finally calling the GG, and Wisnatic is victorious. Let's take a look at the statistics. Oladushek with 127 kills, 121 deaths, raising 6 buildings, losing 10. Largest army of 22. Wisnatic's largest army size was 27. So Wisnatic collected more food, wood, and stone, and Oladushek collected more gold. GG, agreed, Cookie Pirate. Oladushek with better feudal age time, Wisnatic with better castle age time, and with an imperial age time, of which Oladushek did not have. Oladushek explored more of the map and researched more technologies. Wisnatic actually built 2 castles. Oladushek did not go any castles. Villager high of 84 for Wisnatic to 76 for Oladushek. There's the timeline. Alright, the final game. Shogun. Oladushek with the Georgians, starting with a free mule cart. That's very handy. That's very helpful, really, in your draft. You know, I'm not really sure how Wisnatic allowed Oladushek to get Georgians in his draft. They're pretty good on this map. So Wisnatic is playing as the blue Spanish, and Oladushek is playing as the red Georgians. Map. Shogun, made by Biscuits. And Biscuits does a really good job of like testing it with. He's got a friend that helps him, you know, look over these maps and play test them and make sure they're gonna produce good games. And Biscuits he's really good about making sure that his maps are fun, and we really appreciate that effort. What can I say about this map? Well, you should know that if you do the math and you like add up all the food and stuff like that that's available in your little cute base, there are 2 things that you need to know. The first is that you don't have enough food. You basically have to come out to these berries, or you have to build a ton of farms and put yourself behind your opponent. You get a game 3. Yeah, they wanted to do a 3rd game. So you have to put yourself behind and build a bunch of farms, or come out here and take the berries. I mean, you might be able to, with some eco bonus from some civs, you might be able to find another way around, and maybe Oladushek will show that. This free mule cart is a big bonus, in my opinion. And it so happens that there are a bunch of relics, 4 relics in the center. There's bonus stone in the center, and there are all of these bonus berries in the center too. So you can go for the center and fight the center. The center's got a lot of good stuff. There's bonus gold on either of these, the ruins of other towers, and this is your tower that you start in. And then there is one other thing that you should know as well about the map, in addition to, like, the math works out so that you basically have to come for the berries. The other thing you need to know is that you cannot wall between your town center and these wood lines out here. So there is a ring of unbuildable rock terrain around the outside of your stone walls that prevents you from walling here. So you can small wall it, but you cannot build a big, greedy, contiguous wall. So Wisnatic already coming out of the mill. He's going to take the berries. And Oladushek has not made any advancements toward the berries at all. Maybe he will later. Maybe he won't at all. He is aware of what Wizenatic is doing out here. He's got his scout. Wizenatic expecting to be attacked, but was not attacked. So he deletes those walls, and Wizenatic is going to wall the berries in with himself. He's going to fight Oladushek, and Oladushek will fight him, I guess. So Wizenatic starting to wall the berries. I don't know who's going to win this here. Oladushek building a barracks. Okay, so Oladushek is already on his way up to the feudal age. This is very aggressive feudal age stuff. And I think it's going to be scouts from Oladushek. He's only got 3 on... Oh no. Sending another out now. He's only got 3 on wood. That guy being lazy, just kind of standing there. Okay. And this is scouts from Oladushek. Good old-fashioned scouts. Now, I don't think the Georgians have an eco bonus beyond the free mule cart that could help with a scout rush. No, I mean, the fortified churches help villagers work faster, you know, but that's not available until Castle Age. So Oladushek has experimented with the Georgians, and maybe he's found a good build. He does have some extra sheep here, so... You know, maybe he really feels like he could get it. And he's built another mule cart, actually, to refine his gold mining operation, which is strange if you're going to go scouts, if you want to know the truth. But I don't think Oladushek can afford to give away the center. I mean, he's got to be going scouts, right? Wizenatic trying to wall this off desperately. Alright, no. Oladushek is going archers. Now, that I don't understand at all. Georgians don't really have an archer bonus, do they? No, it doesn't look like it. But archers will help the Georgians get in more effectively, I guess, than scouts, because when you just have scouts attacking, the villagers can wall behind for forever. So Oladushek is going to make his move for the center in the feudal age. And maybe he's going to build some archers. Maybe once he gets in, he'll take some stone, and he's going to build a tower here to help himself get in. And then he figures if he gets in, he can take more stone. Alright, so right now he's got 2 villagers working on this watchtower. He's got 2 villagers and a scout working on the house. He's going to try to get in. Wizenatic can repair it for now. So he just focuses on getting this watchtower up so that Wizenatic cannot repair it. And now Wizenatic has to come back here and build kind of a dome-shaped enclosure to prevent Oladushek from getting doing too much damage once he breaks in. He basically has to give up this house. He's going to let Oladushek have these berries. Got no choice. And Oladushek needs the berries because he's running out of sheep. He just has 1 more sheep after the current one that he's working on. But Wizenatic's still not in a bad position here. I mean, think about what Wizenatic wants. Wizenatic wants to go fast castle. But he doesn't have the food for it. And he's on the berries, but berries collect slowly. So he's going to have to defend the center for a little while. And Oladushek wants to deny this tower. This tower, now that Wizenatic is in feudal age, can build it, will help him defend his control over the center. So Oladushek is just going to take some berries instead. Since he can't really break in any further, now that Wizenatic has closed the technology gap. But this is very dangerous for Oladushek. If Wizenatic gets to the Castle Age and can make conquistadors that can rampage around the outside ring of wood, then Oladushek is in big trouble, right? Even if Oladushek small walls this, number one, the conquistadors will either be able to range directly and just kill villagers. But even if they can't, they'll just easily destroy these buildings and kill any villagers that try to repair them. And then they'll get in and kill villagers. So it could be very devastating. His only answer Oladushek's only answer would be a tower. And he is in the middle, and he could take stone. But if he did that, then it would slow down his castle age so much. I don't think it would be. I think it'd be very bad for him. I think it'd be game over at that point. So Oladushek checking out Wizanatic's holdings here. Scout is kind of stuck. Wizanatic trying to wall it in, which is sort of funny. He should just shank it. There we go. Scout goes down. Oladushek has built a single archer, and Wizanatic does not need to build this house here. Or he could build it, but at least build it when everybody's inside. And so Wizanatic just kind of happy to let Oladushek have this limited area. Feels like he's got a, you know, a good hold on the middle. Sure, I mean, Oladushek has taken some from some berries, but he has more berries, and he has the stone. And there isn't any stone in your starting base. There is gold, and there's, I guess, a little bit of stone scattered across the map, too, so it's not like you can't get stone anywhere else. And Wizanatic is just slowly accumulating the resources he needs to click up to the castle age. He can actually probably sell a lot of wood. And click up, abuse the market a little bit. But he probably plans to build a siege workshop or something. Or, knowing Wizanatic, maybe a bunch of town centers. And he's almost there anyway. So Wizanatic clicks up to the castle age, which is not good for Oladushek at all. We can check and see how close Oladushek is himself to clicking up. Oh! Now what is this? Oladushek managing to get in with some archers. That is not good for Wizanatic. So let's change to Oladushek's point of view. He doesn't have the resources to click up. And he's not... I mean, he's a little bit close. But the important thing is, he's in Wizanatic's economy. And he's killed, what, 3 villagers with that? So Wizanatic wants to zone Oladushek out of at least this side of it. And the archers come. And these are Georgian archers, which nobody really expects. And oof, this is not good at all for Wizanatic. He was not expecting Oladushek to do this. Oladushek adding another archery range because these archers are working out well for him. And what does Wizanatic do? He's got to build another tower. I mean, it makes sense, right? And Oladushek can see this tower going up, but he can't really come out here to deny it because this tower could reach him if he did. He might be... Oh, he's going to come and try. Yeah, very bold. Very bold, but the archers die. But the good news is the archers did their damage, right? They killed 3 villagers, and they forced down an additional tower. So having built that additional tower, Wizanatic will not be able to afford a castle immediately. Whereas he may have been able to afford one if these villagers had been working the whole time and he hadn't spent that stone on another tower. So he does clean that up, but it's a setback for Wizanatic that gives Oladushek some time that he needs to get up to the castle age to develop a countermeasure against the conquistadors. And Oladushek is researching a bunch of economic technologies. He's getting gold mining. He just finished horse collar. He got the armor upgrade for his archers, so presumably that's going to be for skirm. Although I don't know. I honestly don't know why, because conquistador attack is so high. Who cares if the skirmishers have armor, right? It's better to spend that on early bodkin or something. Maybe go into the university resources instead and get ballistics. Because you gotta know that the conquistadors are coming, right? Okay, so Oladushek is, he sees that Wizanatic is, oh no, Wizanatic. He wanted to build the castle here, but I guess it didn't work out. So wait, where's he gonna build it now? He might have to build it back here. He's gonna build a siege workshop first. That seems a little greedy to me. And he's built a monastery, which is good. So maybe he's just going to do a monk siege push with like a castle, and then use the castle to get up to imp quickly. And meanwhile, Oladushek is going Georgian archers of all things. Like, who would have thought? Wisnatic building a town center here. This will help keep his villagers safe when these crossbows come and scan the wood line for any exposed villagers, which Oladushek loves to do. Now, Wisnatic doesn't have a good answer on this gold. His gold is not safe. And he must see these archers. Come on, Wisnatic. You must see these archers. They kill one villager. 2 villagers. And Wisnatic has not reacted. 3 villagers. They kill a bunch of villagers. But Wisnatic was busy building his castle. And he's got a mangonel. And he's got some relics. The monk has picked up 3 relics and he's about to pick up a 4th. But it's very unfortunate that for Wisnatic that these crossbows managed to get so many kills. He is still making villagers. Uh-oh. Wisnatic. Hello? Oladushek picking off 2 villagers and then, I guess, deciding to quit while he's ahead. So what Wisnatic needs now is he needs to, like, build a town center out here or something. Maybe not there. That's a bad spot. There's a fortified church there, but here he could build a town center. He's got his castle up, but he doesn't have great food income. Alright, he is sending a mangonel back to deal with this ball of archers. He's got a lot of wood and gold. And Oladushek is just going hard into crossbows, I guess. Still 1 town center. Wisnatic's got 2. Wisnatic is 7 villagers behind Oladushek. Mangonel chasing the crossbows around. Maybe the reason that Oladushek is investing so heavily into crossbows is because he's expecting conquistadors. And crossbows are pretty good against conquistadors. I bet that's the reason why. It's not because Georgians are particularly good at crossbow. It's because this unit is available to Georgians in all its upgrades and is good against conquistadors, of which he knows are a powerful and popular unit among people playing the Spanish. Oladushek making some cavalry archers. Wisnatic has to withdraw. Love to see Wisnatic convert some cavalry archers, but it's usually the case where there are too many cavalry archers to convert. So now, I think what you gotta do is you gotta go to Imperial Age and get block printing. And have 12 range monks and just convert everything. Go pivot into monks, but we haven't seen anybody go monks on this map. It's kind of strange. And Spanish will be super good at it too, because they get Inquisition. But Wisnatic is kind of going the Castle Age route. He's building a bunch of mangonels. He kind of is pivoting toward the north, like that's where he knows his opponent's got some stuff, some gold mining operations. Ooh. These cavalry archers very boldly diving the mangonels. These crossbows step forward into the rocks. A couple of them get crushed. And fortified churches. I wouldn't feel comfortable with my mangonels underneath fortified churches. My impression is that they can fire a lot of arrows. Now, Wisnatic is working on these fortified churches, but he's working uphill against them. So, the fortified churches will last for a while, which is good for Oladushek and bad for Wisnatic. I guess it looks like Wisnatic is going to give up on them for now, but he's sending some villagers forward. Doesn't have the stone to build a castle, so we know it's not a castle. And Oladushek has really fortified this area. Look at that. He's got 2 fortified churches, 2 mule carts, and a back archery range for defense. So I guess Wisnatic is going to use the hill to his advantage now And he's just going to crush these production buildings, which I think is a good choice. Look at how quickly they're going down. He's got 4 mangonels working on it, and he could do the same thing. Maybe not with the hill advantage, necessarily, but he could do something similar to this archery range here. I'd love to see him make a ram and try to ram his way through. His conquistadors are knocking at the door. Oldushik has built a fortified church. Okay, and Wisnetic is going to work on this archery range. And there are... Okay, there's a light cav coming out. The conquistadors are very good against light calves. Maybe Oldushik feels like he has to fight this. So he sends his crossbows forward. And the crossbows get smushed. And the light calves get... Oh, one of them managed to get in. Wait! What? What? Some of these are red... Some of these are red mangonels now. Oh, Oldushik converted some mangonels. That's pretty smart. Was not expecting that. Didn't see it. I love Redemption Monks. Alright, so Redemption Monks basically put a stop to Wisnetic's push. Right? He keeps losing his mangonels to Redemption. So without the mangonels, the conquistadors don't have a defense against the crossbowmen. So surely, Wisnetic, now is the time to cancel your villagers, sell your stone, sell your wood, and then buy the food you need to click up to the Imperial Age. Maybe he can't quite afford it. He's going to get ballistics instead. He's actually got 5 relics. He wants the last relic. Oh, you know what? I bet he wants the last relic from one of these, from this fortified church here, because then he can start the countdown for a relic victory. Alchemy League is played on standard victory condition, so you can win, you know, other ways. You know, I almost think that it would be a lot of fun in Alchemy League, and you guys can correct me if this is totally off base, because the players do hate it when you change the rules of the game. But I really think that we need to do something about wonders. Let's be honest. I'm just gonna say it outright. Nobody builds wonders anymore. They're just too expensive. It's too easy to kill your opponent through conquest. Wonders, the cost-benefit analysis of wonders is such that they are simply too expensive. So, maybe we need to do a season of Alchemy League where wonders are like half price or something. Wouldn't that be wild? Like, you could have people going for a wonder victory on a map like this. Let's say that we made wonders like 100 of each resource. Wouldn't that just be insane? People would be like building multiple wonders across the map. We could actually see some wonders. Because wonders are just too expensive. I think that the reason that wonders were made as expensive as they were was because of maps like Black Forest or Highland. You know, maps that have the ability to be really campy and closed. Oldushik going for another conversion, but decides to bail. And we don't really have that anymore. People don't play... I mean, I guess there's a Rage Forest tournament or whatever going on. But even that, they don't go for... Ooh. Oldushik with the cavalry archers just barely managing to dodge these mangonels. People don't go for wonders anymore. Not even for a Rage Forest tournament. Because it's just not economically viable. Or maybe it's because of tilt and everything. I've talked about that on my Twitter before. Like, wonders just add another victory condition where, you know, generally if you're dying through conquest, it's like slow and gradual. I don't know, I guess the wonders are not really surprising though. That's the thing. You know, it shouldn't really surprise anybody. Because, you know, there's a notification and you see the wonder on your map and there's a countdown and everything. So I take that back. I mean, at Regicide, yes, right, because you can have your king sniped and then These kids that play in the S tier tournaments will rage and be like, you know, it's unnecessary drama. And sure, you don't want to design around that, but at the same time, it's, you know, it's not a big deal. So they just remove it. But wonders, there's no excuse, right? No excuse. No excuse. We should have more wonder victory conditions. But even in Alchemy League, where the wonder is a viable victory condition, players don't build them. Not really. I mean, not unless you have some, you know, some river, Nile Delta map or some crazy Black Forest map. And then it's a fantastic tool, really. It's a big advantage because you know that if you build that wonder, you are not stuck. Like, the game will, one way or another, the game will be over. You will either die, or Wisnatic, Oladushik tries to out-micro these mangonels. This is a very aggressive castle from Oladushik. So you either build and successfully defend the wonder and win within 45 minutes, or you don't. And then it's over. And Wisnatic is going to counter castle, which he likes to do. So the thing with Wisnatic is he can't have those villagers there without having the backing of these mangonels. Unfortunately, the knights have gotten into the base. The knights actually might snipe these mangonels. If they do, he's not going to get his castle up, because the mangonels were the defense that he needed to get the castle up. So I'm seriously considering, for future seasons of Alchemy League, we should reduce the cost of wonders. And we should... And I can ask the players and see what they want to do, but nobody builds wonders anymore. I want to see wonders on any kind of map. I'd love to see a wonder attempt on Arabia, but it's just not worth it now. So let's experiment with that, is what I'm saying. Relics, you know, yeah, you know, people do go for the relics. It does create a, like, Wisnatic was trying to get over here and get this. I think he played the game a little bit differently. Wisnatic actually calls the GG. Oladushik too far ahead. Can't build this castle. But could you imagine if Wisnatic had gone for a wonder? Actually, he was Castle Age, so that would have been possible. But I would have loved to see Wisnatic go for Imp, because I really think he needed it here. Would have given him the monk advantage. He could have gotten Inquisition. He could have done a lot of things differently. So somewhat unusual choices here, going into like Spanish skirmishers. And Oladushik had a ram push back here too. That's pretty funny. And he built a stable as well. Well, that I didn't see because I was too busy talking about wonders and how wonderful they are. So Oladushik managing to take a game off of Wisnatic. The set ends 2-1, or maybe they just, I don't know, maybe they mislabeled them and I just cast them in the wrong order. I'm not really sure what happened. I guess I could check the draft, but it doesn't matter. The important thing is that we had some good and entertaining games. Let's check the statistics. So Oladushik with 85 kills, 72 deaths. Converted 5 units, and I think they were all mangonels. Largest army of 48 to Wisnatic's 18. Oladushik with more food, wood, and gold collected. Wisnatic with more stone. Wisnatic with more Castle Age, with a better Castle Age time. Oladushik with a better Feudal Age time. Oladushik explored more of the map and researched more technologies. They tied. They both had one castle in the end. Wisnatic with 5 relics and almost 3,000 relic gold, which is impressive. And a villager high of 77. Here's the timeline. You can definitely see when Oladushik started to pull ahead here. Alright guys, well that's going to do it for me. This was the final cast. I didn't mean to do it that way. I was just going to say that's going to do it for me. The final cast of Alchemy League Season 10. Thank you guys for tuning in. Next season is going to be French and Indian War themed maps. So don't miss out because they're going to be pretty epic. We got a pretty cool map pack, in my opinion. So thanks everybody for joining. And stay tuned because we're going to have a promotional show match coming up here pretty soon. So thanks guys, and we'll catch you later.